What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topics, tweets, videos y'all want me to talk about tomorrow? Hey guys, today is Monday, February 12th. That's right, it's the Monday right after Super Bowl Sunday, aka the most cursed Super Bowl of all time. Today we'll be covering all the things you need to know about the Super Bowl, not just including the game itself for those of you guys who don't even watch the Super Bowl. We'll talk about the commercials, we'll talk about the trailers that got released, we'll talk about how SpongeBob was basically making digs at Leonardo DiCaprio. We'll talk about the halftime show and how Usher basically took Swiss Beats' wife Alicia Keys on national live TV in front of 1 million people. Hella out of pocket. And after that, we'll dive into a pretty disturbing deep dive when it comes to like Vaush and H3 and something about him, you know, opening up some porn folders on his computer. You guys have been telling me to look into this. I have not looked into it and I'm a little scared, but we'll do that after the Super Bowl, okay? And again, this is going to be the last reminder I'll let you guys know, but I am going to be touching grass out here in Baltimore at this con called ChromaCon. You guys can come see me out here. It's March 1st to March 3rd over here in Baltimore. They have everything anime and gaming and geek culture and pop culture. There's going to be good food, good fun, good activities, and just good vibes overall. So if you guys want to come see me and you do come here, come say hi. I'll be there over the weekend, and if you guys use my code in the description link below, you guys can get yourself a big fat juicy discount. So let's talk about the Super Bowl. Yesterday we had the San Francisco 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and what was the most boring Super Bowl of all time. That's right, I said it. At least for the first half, it was such a freaking sleeper, bro. None of the teams actually scored a freaking touchdown until I think the third quarter. I think they got a field goal off somewhere in the first or second quarter. They kept getting these interceptions and these fumbles and dropping the ball, and when they dropped the ball and fumbled, they couldn't score. Defense was just too strong. Now, I'm a huge fan of watching me some good old-fashioned defense, but on the Super Bowl, I like to see points, okay? I like to see people throw the ball, run into the end zone, and then kick off, and then run past, get back to the end zone. I like activity. So if you like any of that stuff, you did not get it, okay? It was resident sleeper. Guys, Delnar said the NFL scriptwriters wrote the most boring Super Bowl I've ever seen. I didn't realize it was possible to make overtime unexciting, but they figured it out. Praying for Cowboys next year, so at least it's entertainment. We got a Cowboys fan here. I used to be a Cowboys fan. Don't tell nobody. But yeah, ended up going to the Chiefs with your boy, the quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and your girl Taylor Swift. That's right. Her current boyfriend is the tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs. This guy, Travis Kelce, who was also caught on film yelling at the head coach of Kansas City Chiefs.
For the fumble, he comes over to Andy. He goes, "Keep me in." What happened is, on the fumble, he was not in the game.
But yes, it was rigged. The power of the Swifties is too strong. The Kansas City Chiefs and your quarterback, my homies, they got their second Super Bowl in a row. I mean, they panned over to Taylor Swift maybe like 8 or 9 times throughout the night. Every time, I thought what was going to happen was that Kelce was going to get the winning touchdown, right? At the end of the fourth quarter, when it was getting kind of close, it looked like Mahomes was trying to set up the script, right? To throw it to him, to catch the ball, to land for the touchdown, and for Taylor Swift to be the only person to kind of just run out onto the field, and they hug and they kiss, and then the Swifties and the world and the script plays out exactly how it's supposed to play. And yeah, last thing I'd mention about Taylor Swift, but outside of her basically hanging out with Ice Spice, I think there's a picture or a video of Ice Spice doing some like demonic like signs or whatever, people saying she sold her soul to Hollywood. But Ice Spice was always on the can with Taylor Swift while they were at the Super Bowl. And then after the Super Bowl party, Taylor Swift and Kelce, they all went, and she's out here with the crowd, with the normies out here singing to her own song while looking over at Kelce. It looks like she's just enjoying life as a commoner for like the first time. She really, it looks like she's just been enjoying herself. And me as a baby Swiftie, I'm not like a super Swiftie. Like, I'm not like going to be out here and fight people type Swiftie, okay? But I like her music and I like her energy. She a little dorky and we like that. Anyway, right after the Super Bowl, when President Joe Biden, his actual Twitter account, made a tweet that said, "Just like we drew up with the freaking meme emoji eyes, 433,000 likes." And as you guys probably know, the internet went big baby rage, mad, happy, glad, sad about it, okay? You know, basically bringing politics into it, which I will not. If you guys do need to know, okay? Last week, I think I mentioned this. I don't know if this was on here or when I was on Twitch. 2 big things that happened, okay? Vladimir Putin got interviewed by Tucker Tucker Carlson. We watched about like 45 minutes of that interview, and it was such a freaking snooze fest, just like the NFL. Okay, Vladimir Putin is a huge history nerd, and you know, Carlson actually was asking some tough questions, and Putin was just like, let me just tell you about the ancient histories of our people for years and years to justify our actions, kind of thing. It felt very propagandish-y, but yeah. Now let's talk about the halftime show. You had your boy Usher, baby. That was right. Mr. Steal Your Girl himself was out here playing, which, you know, I actually forgot. This man has a very impressive discography. Okay, I haven't been listening to Usher like recently, like any of the like new stuff, but when he came back up here and he started doing his halftime show and he started dancing, and I was like, wait a minute, this man has banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. I completely forgot. He came out here in this white suit, started talking like, caught up, got me feeling it, you know, doing all the dance moves and stuff, doing the performance, started sweating immediately. He already had too much clothes on him and was just glistening. I don't know if it was too warm, I don't know if it was too many people in there or whatever, but he was doing the whole he was doing the whole Usher dance movements and all of that jazz, right? It was Usher, right? But then he had a bunch of special guests come up there, you know, people who were like, you know, a part of his songs, including the queen herself, Alicia Keys, which was so dope. She was out here on this suit with the red piano, with the red suit. You know, he was in the blue suit. She had this big old long red cape where it kind of made it look like it. But I was like, I haven't heard Alicia Keys in forever. I wanted to hear her sing. Some people said the first note that she made was a little sus. I can't play too much because I will get destroyed by the NFL if I play for like 5 seconds, okay? That's why I'm not playing too many clips of the actual game, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get you guys on like the first note that she hit.
Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all.
People were kind of worried, right? I was like, is that is that off pitch? I'm not a musician myself. Is that off pitch, or is that just Alicia Keys purposely playing the off pitch key on? But nah, she still got it. She is a baddie. Too much of a baddie, in fact, because they sang the song My Boo. It's funny when we were younger, you were mine. My boo. You know, Usher and they were performing that, right? And, you know, Usher was being, again, Mr. Steal Your Girl. Because after it was performed, Alicia Keys is married to Swiss Beats, okay? She's taken for him. So you know what that means. Usher gotta come in and ruin a relationship yet again. I already know Swiss Beats is signing the divorce papers. Look what he did on national TV. This man, I'm telling you, it was worth 1,000, 10,000 bodies what he did up here. Nah, bro, you ain't have to do all that. You ain't have to do that. No, why you do all of that? Usher, dog, that's crazy. That's crazy. Some people are like, oh yeah, she looked like she was enjoying it, but also could be like I'm kind of uncomfortable, but we're in front of 1 billion people, so I'm gonna play it off kind of thing. But if I'm Swiss Beats and I see this image, I see this picture, sinking feeling, it's just like, boom. He has struck of yet again. And everybody on the internet was making fun of this as part of the halftime show, was Usher just being, again, Mr. Steal Your Girl, starting these relationship issues. I don't know. People are wondering, was this consensual or not? I don't know. All I know is that this man must be stopped. Anyway, the man changed clothes after that like 50 times throughout the show. You can see right here, he's standing on the clock like, you know, Kingdom Hearts, like he's about to go fight with Sora and Goofy and Donald. And it looks pretty good. It was pretty dope. Then there was a part where he took off his shirt and he started doing, you got it back when you on the phone, hang up. And he started doing this little, like his little gyrating thing or whatever. And I don't know if it was just me. But I was like, I feel like this has just got to be left. I was actually thinking a lot when I was watching this concert. If I was thinking about Michael Jackson. And I was thinking, like, if Michael Jackson was out here performing, like, what the difference would be if he was out here doing the Super Bowl. Now that I think about it, I can't recall, because I just cannot recall. It might have been a long time if Michael Jackson had did a Super Bowl halftime. But I feel like if Michael Jackson did, which I'm pretty sure he probably did in his lifetime, right? I feel like he would do like 1/10. Like, Michael Jackson's the type of dude that if he was out here, right, he wouldn't be doing this. Michael Jackson would just be like, the first 5 minutes of the Super Bowl for Michael Jackson would just be him, like, just head down, not moving, right? And you would hear the loudest yell in the entire world. Like he would just literally for at least 5 minutes, the increase of the volume would just keep going up and up. That man, and then if he flinched, right, just moved a hand or arm or foot or just looked up or something, right, people will start screaming. I'm just comparing the two because I just, they're basically kind of similar in nature-ish, but yeah. Anyway, wrapping up, right, it was already a good time. It was good energy. He had a girl with a guitar. I was like, wow, I didn't know I like guitar mommies out here, but here we go. This man came out on roller skates and I was like, oh, somebody can fall. This man can trip. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, like, if I get on some skates, this could be a freaking hazard. We might see, like, someone take a freaking tumble here. And Usher, brave enough to come out here on the Super Bowl and not trip on some rollerblades and roller skates. I was like, okay, not too bad. It was pretty impressive. It was fun to watch. Anyway, they had Jermaine Dupri out there. They had Lil Jon. Lil Jon was in the crowd, like, yeah, doing the whole joints with his songs. They had Luda. Did Luda come out here eventually, I think? Here he is. Watch out, my outfit's ridiculous. The gang himself. The last time I saw him, I was when what's his name? Who's the Cat Williams was talking about him and his wife or whatever. But yeah, he's out here performing too as well. I mean, you got the whole gang out here. It was pretty cool. So overall, it seems like the sentiment was that the Usher halftime play and show was pretty fun. It was pretty good. Like it wasn't a lot for you to dislike, right? We got some shout outs and some bringbacks from some old legendary homies like Alicia Keys. That was just awesome, right? We got some good old drama with Mr. Steal Your Girl out here being a fool. And, overall, it was a pretty good halftime overall show. Probably one of the best. I don't see a lot of wrong with it. You might not love it, but I don't see a reason for people to hate it. Guys, before we get further in today's topics, I'm happy to announce that today's video is sponsored by Seed, the evolution of probiotics. Guys, after all of the holiday indulgence, travel, and not sticking with your routine, it's the perfect time to get your gut in check with Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic is a broad spectrum probiotic and a prebiotic formulated with 24 clinically and scientifically studied strains for whole body benefits, including gut, skin, and heart health. To be frank, guys, I never really used probiotics, but once I tried it, I realized very quickly that it's one of those things that supports your quality of life, and I wish I would have started it a lot sooner. Now, I take 2 capsules of my DS-01 with my morning coffee, and my body feels completely brand new. Before Seed, I had started this high-protein diet that was giving my stomach
a few digestive issues.
Literally in less than a week, my gut feels so much better. There's no more bloating, and yeah, I can digest food a lot better now. It's the perfect healthy addition to my daily routine that I highly recommend you guys start adding to yours. So yeah, guys, what are you waiting for? You guys can go to seed.com/omni and use code OMNI25 at checkout to get 25% off your first order of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. And after that, they send sustainably packaged refills, all with free shipping. And again, special thanks to the science team over at Seed for not only helping the quality of my life, but also sponsoring today's video. So alright, we talked about the game, we talked about Taylor Swift and Kelsey, we talked about the halftime show. Now, let's talk about 2 or 3 more things about the Super Bowl, which was absolutely funny, okay? Number 1, we have the trailers and the commercials. I'll point out some of the best and worst of those. I can't really show the commercials, right? You either saw it or not, but... And then number 2, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they had Nickelodeon actually cover the show in their own way, right? If you switched to Nickelodeon, you could watch the Super Bowl, and they had SpongeBob and Patrick and freaking Plankton and Dora the Explorer out here commentating on the show, and apparently it was like a fever dream and absolutely hilarious. SpongeBob joking about Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history. There was a part here where the Kansas City Chiefs finally made a touchdown in the 3rd quarter, and it said, nah, the SpongeBob broadcast is hilarious. Kansas City Chiefs, 3 hours later, finally scored a touchdown. That's the last clip that I'll try to play without getting ejectocito, because I hope these clips actually make it to the main video without me having to edit out, okay? But Dora the Explorer explaining what holding is in football.
Holding is the illegal grabbing of a player who is not in possession of the football in order to gain an advantage. Say it with us. Players, no holding.
I don't know why this was such an amazing idea, but I'm pretty sure if you watch the Super Bowl from this perspective of the Nickelodeon, the casters and Dora and all of this stuff, apparently Plankton was out here destroying the Super Bowl and everything as well. You probably had more fun watching it there through the actual official channel. And finally, guys, let's get to the actual commercials, aka Temu. That's right, bro. Yo, Temu, the web service, the web host where you can buy like everything for like $1. Like if there's like a $1,000 version of it, there's a Temu version of it that you can buy for $2. Everyone talks about how this company basically like takes your data and then sells it. These guys played 7 or 8 ads during the Super Bowl, okay? And just for reference, let me show you how much it actually costs to play a commercial on the Super Bowl. It costs roughly $7 million just to play 30 seconds of ad time on the Super Bowl, okay? For 30 seconds, $70 million. That doesn't even include the cost to create the actual commercial. Just that's how much it costs. That's how much they charge you to get 30 seconds. And Temu played that freaking 30-second Temu, or now I think it's Temu. I think they were pronouncing it. I don't remember. They played that goddamn commercial 7 times. They spent $50 million in ad revenue. And everybody was just going crazy like, oh my freaking Lord, how can there be so much Temu commercial? They're about to take over. If they haven't already taken over the world, people think that they're going to be in competition with Amazon soon. Kind of mad. I feel like I fumbled the ball, okay? Because Temu actually hit me up a couple months back, right? Temu, they hit me up a few times. They were like, yo, Omni, love the channel. Would you like to sponsor Temu? You know, and I was like, nah, I'm going to be good. I heard y'all selling some data. You know, I could use the bag, I can use the money, but I hear y'all might be a little moral. I've seen a few videos from, you know, Moodle Hard saying that this might be a bit of a devious company. I'm thinking to myself, and now got 7 ads. You telling me the NFL will sell 7 ads? I should have taken that bag. They were going to pay me a lot. I should have did it. I should have sold my soul. Oh, I regret it. Anyway, moving on from TV, we had several movie trailers that looked pretty hype. Discussing films that was your favorite movie teaser. See every new trailer that was released. We got Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, I think this is the first time Ryan Reynolds is being dressed as Deadpool for maybe 5 or 6 years. It looks really fun and really good and really hype. Okay, and obviously we want to see us some more Logan. So yeah, we got ourselves Wicked Part 1. It's going to be a movie that's not going to be the entirety of Wicked, which is wow. I love Wicked, by the way, the Broadway specifically. I don't think there's anything else outside of Wicked, outside of the Broadway, but I've seen it maybe like twice, maybe even 3 times over New York City and once up here in Baltimore. But I absolutely love it. Defying Gravity. Oh my God. Defying Gravity. And then also like Popular. Oh my. I love the soundtrack. I love the songs. Ariana Grande is going to be Glinda, the white princess, the good one. You got a new Planet of the Apes. I mean, that's going to be an instant watch, right? Like, how can you not watch like a super S tier Planet of the Apes? Usually it goes hard. So yeah, they remade Twisters. Which is, I didn't watch the original Twisters, but I remember there was a movie literally about Twisters, about freaking windstorms, right? And I never watched it, but I always thought it was hilarious. But then if you think about it, right, when you see something like that coming at you, that's absolutely terrifying. But yeah, we got a movie about nature, and nature is scary. And then for the rest of the commercials, there were so many that I can't cover them all. I would say that my favorite commercial out of all of them was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, the State Farm Insurance, right? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And the guy comes over there like, excuse me, Arnold, it's not neighbor, it's neighbor. And he's like, neighbor. And he's like, no, that's not what you're saying. It's neighbor, labor, get to the chopper. And I was like, it was actually comical. A lot of the commercials were really bad, right? You would have like people out here, all of these super huge name brand people out here doing ridiculous stuff just for the sake of existing and didn't even know what the commercial was about. A lot of it was just really bad. Surprisingly enough, Ice Spice had her own commercial as well with Starry, the soda company, right? Ice Spice is just, she has blown up so fast. is absolutely ridiculous. She went from like a year and a half ago to being like somebody people made fun of on Twitter to now she's on Super Bowl commercials, hanging out with Taylor Swift. Like, she getting Grammy nominations is crazy. Her glow up must be studied. People say she's an industry plant. I don't know. Can't confirm or deny. I need to get her on the show, you know? Okay, Ice Spice. I know you watch the content. Someone told me that you watch my videos. Totally cool. Let's get you over here onto the platform. I'll fly you out here into the DMV. We'll talk about it. And what else? There was like the Jesus commercials. People were making fun of like the commercials they were making with Jesus where people were washing each other's feet. And then there was another one. It was a little creepy because it looked like every time they showed the art, it looked like it was AI. Like, I was like, are they making like AI Jesus art? I get the whole conception of, you know, washing feet kind of thing. But as a person who has like a past Christian background kind of thing, in my opinion, right, if you're trying to push Christianity or you want to kind of like spread the word of God, you don't do it like that. If you're a Christian, you get it, right? And then what ends up happening, right, is people are like, wow, that was kind of creepy. And people are like, you should read, you should learn the word of God. Jesus used to wash his feet. It's about humility. And I get the message, okay? But like, do you understand? Like, I wouldn't spend freaking $7 million with that kind of message. I don't think it's effective. I don't think it sends the message that you want to send. It's a good message for people who are within the community, right? You're trying to get people who are not familiar with it. I don't think that's the way you do it. That's just my opinion. Yeah, over and all, that was the Super Bowl, okay? Good commercials. The Super Bowl itself was mid. It went into overtime. Oh my God, it was so boring. It was boring because the defense was so good. Kansas City Chiefs defense were absolutely on par. Mahomes was like on fire, bro. And then we had the 53 or 55 kick that was made to help, you know, basically put them on the map. It was so boring though that I could understand that if you was watching this, if you would just check out. Even the commercials were kind of meh-ish as well. I don't feel like this was like the best Super Bowl. Usher tried to save it in the halftime. In the second half, it got a lot better after the first touchdown. It was stressful though as well. Once it finally started getting down to the end, it started getting tense. Like every play, every conversion, everything counted. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't have any skin in the game. I ain't bet nothing. But me as somebody who understands football, and it was getting towards the end, I was like, man, it can go either way at any minute. It can be over at any freaking minute. So it was like a stressful game. But that was the Super Bowl, guys. Let me know what your favorite part of the Super Bowl was, okay? Was it the halftime show? Was it SpongeBob? Was it the commercials? Was it the actual game itself? Was it Taylor Swift? Are you a Swiftie in here? Let me know what your favorite part of the Super Bowl was. And if there was anything that I missed, you guys can let me know in the comments below. Another thing you guys asked me to talk about was KSI and this controversial clip that played... oh boy, he was trending, I think, about maybe 4 days. I think it was Thursday or Friday, maybe Friday of last week, where he was trying to do a live stream. I think in the live stream, he got his IP leaked. He had to shut it down. He also got asked a question about the whole situation that's happening in Gaza. And yeah, it said here, KSI was asked about Palestine Israel situation during return stream. And he quotes, honestly, have no idea what's going on. I've already watched the clip. I've kind of given a response on Twitch. But for those of you guys at home who haven't seen it, I'll play it for you since you guys asked me to talk about it.
Slightly controversial question.
Oh, God.
What do you think about the Palestine Israel situation at the moment?
I honestly have no idea what's going on. that is it. I have no idea what's going on. I'm not getting involved. It's way above me. Get out, please. I don't know. Bro, come on, man. We got us. Less controversial.
So yeah, this clip got spread around the internet like crazy, and this man got so much hate for this answer. It was astronomical. Okay, for somebody like me who's been watching KSI for a while, the whole laughing thing that you keep seeing here, those are his nervous laughs. It's just the KSI laugh. He does that for like almost everything kind of thing. I don't think it's a way to interpret it as him laughing about the situation more. So I think that was basically like, oh my God. Okay, the question here when it comes to Palestine and the entire war and everything, for him, probably has to be like, once the question is asked, the genie is out of the box. If you don't answer it or you refuse to answer, then people feel like, hey, you're standing with the oppressor. If you say, hey, free Palestine, you know, side with Palestine, and then you got all the people from the other side who are going to come at you and tell you why you're so wrong, and maybe he risks losing Prime or makes people upset and it makes him fumble back and lose millions of dollars or something like that. And then, hey, if he takes the Noah Schnapp and he says, yeah, I stand with Islam, and then And then he will get done. So no matter what happens here, right? He already knows now the question is out here. It's gone. He's obliterated. It's over. It's what you would think, right? I'm going to give you guys my honest, fair assumption and assessment. And this is not me defending KSI or whatever, but he's just literally just not the guy that you asked. Yes, you can maybe ask him for his stance to see if he can use his platform to push whatever you believe is the message that should be shared. It has already been shared, or what you agree with, or what your stance is, regardless of what your stance is on this whole war thing. You can do that. But I think it's very clear that he's trying to protect himself and not get himself in any trouble. But I think there becomes a time and a place. And this is just, again, I'm not judging KSI or anything like that, right? There comes a time and a place where there is a lot of atrocities that are happening around the world at such a large scale, right? When women and children and innocent people are dying, in the hundreds and the thousands, and there's bloodshed, right? This is something where you kind of have to pay attention. Maybe you don't want to be in that space, and I understand the concept of like not wanting to maybe know things that are evil around the world, because you can't, there's evil things happening all the freaking time, right? But this is one of the biggest things that are happening. People are calling it freaking genocide, right? And it's not hard or difficult to say that you want innocent people to stop dying. You want kids to stop dying. It's not difficult to make the statement that you would prefer peace. You do not want war. And you want innocent people to stop being slayed left and right. In my opinion, I feel like some people are so afraid of the concept of the consequences of making these questions and these answers and these sides, because there's so many visceral parties on left and right, that I feel like people are forgetting that you can just zoom out here, man. And look at this from like a human element, right? Like, because if you or somebody that you loved or you cared about was one of the victims in these parties, and you were exposed to this element, right, then you would want people with platforms to say, hey, I wish this would stop happening to them. Okay, if you're in Gaza or something like that, you would hope that somebody would say, please keep advocating this to stop. Please create peace, because innocent people are just getting destroyed left and right. There's no sphere, at least from my understanding here, where you say to the audience or to your people, I don't want innocent civilians to be killed over and slaughtered over and over and over again. You're not getting canceled for that. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, right? And so, and I guess he has so much to lose, or maybe he's not prepared for it. But at a very basic level, I think it's important to at least see from a top-down approach as a human that people are being killed unrightfully so, and we have to somehow figure out how to stop that. Not even just in Palestine and Israel and the whole thing that's happening in Gaza. Whenever we see or know that that is occurring, I don't think it's an unpopular opinion to say that somehow we have to figure out how to make this stop. I think there's two things going on here, and I'm gonna be completely honest and frank with you guys, because like, number one, when it comes to like people like KSI, I think a lot of people ask these questions in order to just set him up, in order to basically make him look like a goon, right? Like, I'm not gonna go to like Speed or Kai or some young kid or even an adult that are just like goofy people. There are certain people that I'm just literally not going to ask this question to. And then even if I ask it, I don't even know if I'm going to value their input or their information, right? And then you got people all over the place who are just looking for the side that's going to protect them the most. They don't actually care. They don't actually have opinion. They're just like, free Palestine. And it's like, why? I don't know. I don't know any details about it. I don't actually know why I'm saying it. I just think that this is the right answer that's going to keep me the safest, right? So there's so many disingenuous parties everywhere. I've given my take on this war on this channel and on Twitch for quite some time. And what I do communicate, and this is not me trying to, again, shove anything down anybody's throats, but I feel like we can all come to agree that the killing of innocent people who have done nothing, people who were born into this world and they're just dying because they exist, that's no bueno. We have to figure out how to stop that, right? Even if there are bigger things or bigger forces, there are histories involved. There's no way that we say this is okay to happen such a mass wide effect and just watch it and be like, it is what it is. That's no, I think at the end of the day, as humans, if we don't want to be as corrupt as we already are, if we want to save a little bit of our souls, of the souls that we already don't have, that putting your foot down to say, hey, we have to stop slaughters of innocent people is an okay thing to do. There's got to be another way. And if there is no other way, and people were thinking like, yes, we have to kill innocent people in order for things to work. well, then this is a shitty ass world to live in. But you guys can let me know. What do you think about KSI? Do you think his statement was bad? Was it poor? Was it okay? Was it justified? Was he, I don't know. Let me know what your opinions are in the comments below. So a lot of you guys keep asking me this one. I keep seeing this in my comments littered around. Zoe said, hey, Omni, I've been hearing you talk about investing money. However, how do I start investing money? What do you recommend? What action should we take? Okay, this is such a broad question, okay? And I'm not legally allowed to give like investing tips or, you know, actually advice, right? I just usually just tell you guys what I do. But to answer this question, right, this is how I have it set up and structured, okay? It's literally just through my Patreon because I don't have time and energy to basically express it to you guys here, okay? It would be too much to go over the entire concept of investing while doing these videos, right? Casual plug, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/InfernalOmni, and I have one tier on there just called the Omniverse, okay? Where we talk about everything fitness, we talk about everything finance, and we talk about everything YouTube and content creation, okay? And then if you guys join up, I have a Discord, and on the Discord, I basically talk to you guys on a daily basis, everyone on a one-on-one, trying to help everyone do whatever they want to accomplish in those three facets, including investing. So that's the best way. That's the best way outside to just kind of help you personally because people have different levels. Outside of that, I drop like videos as well and freebies and tidbits on how to get started and all that jazz. So this is where you would find Finance Omni. And so I make my own YouTube finance channel if I ever have the time and energy or feel like doing it. If you don't care about the finance tips or the Omniverse or whatever, I post like a bunch of pictures and videos of indie. So for only $5 a month, so you can get infinite indie. All right, guys, before we get into the creepy stuff with Vaush, okay, it's coming. I know a lot of you guys probably, I'm dreading it. I'm trying to save it for last. I'm trying to see if I can just skip it all together because it's absolutely nasty, okay? So we'll cover one more story. Chef Back said, Warner Brothers continue to be L's with Coyote vs. Acme getting Britain off. Okay, so there was a movie that Warner Brothers made with Coyote versus Roadrunner, and that was going to get canned before it actually reached the shelf. They made this full big old fortune movie and people were like, wait, whoa. We can't look at it. We can't even see it. And apparently the people who are expressing the saying that they're going to can it hasn't even watched it as well. And it seemed like it was going to get saved. Maybe it was going to get bought up by Netflix or some kind of other company as well. But it looks like it's going back and it's just going to be erased and into the dust. A lot of people are upset about this, not because it's just Coyote or because it's Warner Brothers or because it's cartoons. It has to do more so with the creation and self-preservation of art. There's been a war recently when it comes to self-preservation. This is mixed into as well with the whole thing that's happening with Crunchyroll and Funimation. If you guys don't know about that one as well, Funimation is basically shutting down because Crunchyroll, they merged and Crunchyroll acquired them. Crunchyroll is the leading #1 anime provider of anime. Okay, it's the yellow one. Right? And Funimation used to be that guy as well. They used to be partners. There used to be more. But with Crunchyroll acquiring them, several things happened here. I know we're switching, but it's kind of like in the same realm here. Okay, but with Crunchyroll taking over, Funimation being gone, apparently they have raised the price of Crunchyroll subscription service from $40 or $50 to $100 a year. Reading here, Crunchyroll service update. Thank you for being a loyal Funimation customer. The Funimation service is ending on April 2nd, 2024. That's in 2 months, okay? Blah, blah, blah. As part of our transition to Crunchyroll, the price of your new Crunchyroll plan will increase from $55 a year to $100 a year beginning January 28th, 2025, next year. So they are going to be charging people double in order for you to watch Crunchyroll. And if you bought any digital library service animes through Funimation, apparently it gets wiped out. All digital copies will not be transferred over, reigniting the issues of digital rights. When you purchase something digitally, it seems like it's just not yours. You are just acquiring the license for you to have it, but it's still not technically you. It actually kind of reminds me of like cryptocurrency and like Bitcoin, how you can like buy the concept of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, but unless you own that coin yourself, right? Unless it's in your own wallet and your own keys, technically it can just all go away. So yeah, back to the whole Coyote situation. People are upset because it looks like it says XXW expressed interest in programming Coyote vs. Acme at the festival, but Warner Brothers refused the request. The festival often screened work in progress cuts, and people are really upset because people are just using this as a huge tax write-off. I think it's very obvious by now that W has zero desire to get this film sold. It was just PR. And to be honest, I feel like all of the discord about releasing Coyote vs. Acme is basically serving up as like perfect free marketing about it. Like everyone is talking about how they want to save it and how they want to watch it and how it shouldn't go away. It's basically free marketing, and it's doing immaculate. I feel like whoever hosts it will probably get their money back for it, but Warner Brothers is just intent on not releasing this film and has made a lot of people big baby rage mad. All right, guys, we have come to the cursed. Let me sit back a little bit, okay? We've come to the cursed part of the video, okay? Kitties, I just learned the other day, I'd ask you guys if you guys watch my content on TV and stuff. I went to, where was it? I was at MagFest. And I talked to a couple of you guys who said you watch my content. I talked to these one couple who said they watch it with their kid. And I was like, what? I said, what? Y'all got kids watching me? Like, hello? Like, I'm like, oh my God, now I gotta watch what I say, because sometimes I'm like out of pocket. Am I really got an audience with kids that watch me on TV in the living room, and you got the kiddies, the 3-year-olds, the 8-year-olds, and 9-year-olds being like, hey, daddy, that's a big chunky wonky. Okay, this section right here, all right, viewer discretion advised. Because from what I understand, it is absolutely freaking nasty. Random, and a lot of you guys asked me to talk about this. It's the Vaush situation. He is a self-proclaimed libertarian, socialist, homosexual, racial, hyper-justice, ultra-feminist, world's only advocate for transgender rights, live streamer, homosexual, yada, yada, yada. He's a political YouTuber who's very successful on YouTube. A lot of his videos going up from like 100,000s to the millions. He's one of the trifectas of people who are up there, like with like Hassan Piker, and I would also say Destiny, right? Just those guys out here, usually who leaning on the left, talking about issues. They've been out here doing it for a pretty long time, and yeah, just that's Vaush, right? He talks about things that are political in nature, and he has himself a bit of a cult following. From what I understand, there was a circumstance that happened on his stream where he was alt-tabbing, and when he did the alt-tab, he's not the first one to get alt-tab got. The first one that everyone talks about the most is Atrioc when it came to the whole we try not to talk about that more. We don't talk about Atrioc in terms of that no more. We've dismissed it because he's put in so much work, okay? But the alt tab thing, there's a split second where sometimes it'll show like all of your tabs that are open, even if they're minimized. And one of the tabs that he opened was his big no-no folder. He had himself the big P folder, the porn folder, right? And then it was like him in the show. It was next to like taxes. I'm gonna see if I can find the actual clip for you guys as well, okay? But apparently it was next to like taxes, and it had some suggestible images on there that I might not be able to show because, well, not probably 1000% won't be able to show. But let me see the clip where he actually like flashed the screen.
And see, this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to. What? And see, this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to. What? And see, this is an example of the kind of structure.
That's like one of the best perfectly cut off screams that I've seen in a while. This right here started this incredible, huge debate. Again, this is me deep diving and kind of telling you guys what I kind of know about the situation and going at it step by step. Because I've gotten emails, tweets, I've gotten message, DMs, Omni, you got to cover this, you got to cover this. Here's some of the details. I'm like, all right. I'll talk about it, okay? Because then apparently it got into this huge thing with the commentary space with people like Tipster and Keffels. H3H3 covered it. It got big as well. Keemstar was agreeing with freaking H3. These guys are arch nemesis. They've been hating each other for years and years, and now in solidarity against Vaush and Destiny as well. Everyone getting on there and being like, this is incredibly nasty. And there are powers at play here where there were some people out here defending Vaush for, well, okay, now you need to know what was an actual content of that folder. One of the tweets I saw talking about this was like yesterday, saying everything about the Vaush situation is so funny. He gets caught with lowly / bestiality porn, okay? And from what I understand, one of the images was a picture of a lowly anime character. For those of you guys who don't know, lowly is a very, very taboo word in the anime space where it refers to an anime girl who basically looks like a freaking child. One of the most popular versions of that is Naui, but the whole concept is like, oh, yes, I'm a child, but I'm like 4,000 years old and I'm a dragon, but I literally have the body of a child kind of thing. That's the whole lowly Lolita thing that goes on in the anime space. Lots of taboo because people feel like that word and that usage in that genre is basically set for pedophilia, for people to legalize it, to be like, hey, here's how we can sexualize children by calling it lowly and then making sure that these women or these kids that look like kids are actually like 1,000 years and then kind of like a loophole for basically, you know, pedophilia. What ended up happening was the guys over there on Reddit, after they saw the leak, they went ahead and found the actual original images of what it was. Like they saw the little pixel of it and they were like, hey, here's the actual blown up version. Here's the source of it. And people were like in disgust. It was absolutely freaking nasty. Haram. That's what it was. Haram. Sorted it next to his taxes. Apparently he didn't get his stash is so big, right? He'll find images maybe. He'll go, ooh, that one goes into the that one goes into this category. This one goes in that category. My man's has a library, a folder for his porn stuff, okay? And then he said some of the art was AI generated, and then he attempts to defend himself by correlating the very visible children to short stack goblins. So his defense, which I'll play some of the clips of Vaush as well, because, you know, his defense of what he says was, I didn't think that this was a child or lowly. I thought this was a goblin creature. So I thought this was a horse with a big horse penis having sex with a goblin creature. Oh man. And apparently his fan base defends it. And then it started to get into conversations about Vaush and the fact that there have been times in history, people were pulling up receipts where he's actually defended the concept of adults having sex with kids, right? It started getting bad and worse. And then people started weighing on the subject, and believe it or not, there were people who were on his side and agreeing. I don't know who those people are yet, but yeah, this became really weird, really fast, and everybody was talking about it, including H3H3, who probably made it the biggest deal because I think he covered it on one of his recent videos for like 2 hours straight, covered everything about it. Tried to even get Vaush on the show. Those two, I don't even know if they ended up talking. He was posting Instagram stuff. Let's keep diving. Okay, let's just keep talking about it. If you still have my attention and you're not completely bothered by everything and you haven't spat out all your food and ran, okay, let's go deeper into this hellhole we call the internet. Next thing we're going to find is a few clips from Vaush, okay, whether it's the present, past, or future, who cares, right? Drama Alert was talking about it. Keemstar was like absolutely disgusted by everything here, right? We'll see what people are saying. They're saying Vaush needs to be locked up.
Working as hard and fast as we can, and then after we nut, we go back, look over our history chat, and we go like, oh, geez. Oh, boy. Some of these girls looked pretty young. Okay, I don't give a fuck, all right? I still don't care. I still think that, like, zoophile porn, like drawn stuff, it should be 100% legal. In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to...
Okay, I'm just pausing, right? He said... You already know... He said, first of all, he said he doesn't even care if they look young, you know, not a big deal to him. I don't care, right? And his version of young sounds like very young. His version of young sounds like kid young, not like, oh, barely legal adult, 18, 19, Leonardo DiCaprio young, right? This man is talking about like just got out of the playground from PE school type young. That's what it sounds like he's referring to. Yeah, if someone says, hey, let me give you a real hot take, they're about to probably say one of the worst things you have ever heard. I'm getting ready for it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Vaush.
I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal.
Consuming child porn be legal? I think that would be, yes, more legal and more ethically consistent. Yes, 100%.
It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well. That is possible.
Bro. Whoa. I mean, like, after all of these, right? There's got to be like a psych. I gotta imagine that these are out of context. Just sarcasm, just dark humor kind of thing. There's no one that's actually logically like trying to express these concerns and an actual. Oh no! And there's several clips of him echoing the same statement. Vaush, hello, brother. I don't know the guy. I don't know him like that. But what? And the actual and saying that it's, oh my God, man, that's nasty. That's haram. Even if you actually felt like that was true, that's one of those things you just keep to yourself, bro. Like, you don't... Do you know how problematic it is to actually have actual pedophiles out here be like, yes, finally, someone is out here advocating for me, the person who likes to touch kids. They're finally trying to express why it's okay for me to do what I do. Like, no matter what you might think logically you can explain in this transition, it will always lead to freaking evil. It will always lead to some older man somehow getting justification to take over control of a person whose mind has not been developed in the least bit and to have sexual encounter with. This abuse is disgusting, is nasty, and there's no way we're actually having this conversation logically when the implications are just absolutely freaking disgusting, right? If you're a parent, you're probably at home just cringing inside of your own face that somebody could have a take like this. I'm not a parent and I'm cringing.
What if CP is free? If you're not paying for child pornography, then there is no argument in favor of morally condemning people who get it.
Chaos, $5. So would you say that people who purchase child porn are just as bad as the people who sell it, or no? No, not even slightly. I don't think that you should morally impugn anyone who purchases child porn for the same reason I wouldn't want to be morally impugned for buying clothing from companies that use slave labor to do so. However, those who produce and sell the child porn, that is an entirely different question.
Saying that you can consume it to people like kids who are being abused like in sweatshops, and then you're purchasing clothing from the sweatshops, that's the analogy. It's like, okay, the origin of what's happening here is wrong and bad. The selling, creation, and production and abuse of kids is bad. Here's another clip, okay? There's a lot of clips that I'm finding out of context, and I'm trying to find in context. There's Discord messages and everything. I'm just looking at, I'm exploring the situation as it comes and absorbing the information as I receive it, and to see if he's responded to as well. This looks like might have happened and after H3H3. Ethan probably replied to it, and it sounds like it might have been a reply to I'm just clicking tweets, I'm just clicking videos, and we're going to put it together eventually, all right?
Off is this or that, okay? I'll make it clear. You can write this down. I want to fuck a woman as a horse. None of this is a secret. To be clear, many jokes have been made about this, but I stand by it. My moral principles are rock solid. My feet are firmly planted in the ground. I've got my boots up. They're planted firmly. You cannot move me from my position. This isn't a secret. Let's talk to a therapist. Well, why do you want to be the horse, Vaush? Because then I'd have a giant dick. Okay, couldn't you have a big dick the other way? Well, yeah, I could. I could have a big dick hypothetically in any variety of scenarios, but then it wouldn't really be a horse dick. Well, you could be a human with a horse dick. Yes, but then I wouldn't have that powerful stallion energy using it. There you go. That's it. That's the
Vaush, just say it, man. You just want the BBC. He wants to be he just wants to be a 6'6" black guy with a BBC. That's what this translates to be, okay? There's no way you actually want to be an actual animal horse with a horse. Stop it, okay? That's what it Oh Lord! Oh my God, man! It's just the joking about being the horse thing. That's fine. The problem is the fact that you're portraying children. Why are they in this conversation? Why is a child in this conversation? Unless he's saying that the person that was getting. Oh my God! Let's just continue. Hold. I feel like I can't say enough yet because I still don't have all the information. Let's keep gathering evidence here. Let's keep going deeper into this rabbit hole.
The other one is like a threesome with 2 chicks and a guy. And in retrospect, looking at it, knowing now that artist is a lolicon, yeah, I can see it. When I looked at it, I think the vibe that I got was like short stack, thick kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the way like goblins get drawn in porn. You'll have to entertain me for a moment on this presumed shared knowledge of how goblins get drawn in pornography. But you know how they're all like thick short stacks.
Okay, so this is him. That's the whole. I thought it was a goblin, very very short goblin argument. Okay, which unfortunately, this argument of talking about short goblins and then people blowing up his past of everything, talking about CP, does not look good. It's not a good correlation. If this was Phoenix Wright, my friend, I'm pretty sure that would be an objection, but got it. Just really, really harping on the fact that he thought it was a goblin.
Not only did I not make my arguments well, at one point I made my anti-child pornography argument so poorly that it got clipped out of context and people are using it as an argument that I support child pornography.
My basic argument is that,
why is child pornography bad? Because to produce it, you have to hurt children.
Because it hurts people to produce it, yeah?
Producing child porn requires harming a child. The argument I'm making is that it frustrates me that liberals recognize child pornography as bad. Great, nice, well done. But then they're really, really defensive of, global commodity production chains that involve child slave labor. Like, they'll talk that off, like, really, really, really readily, you know? Like, oh, well, there's no other choice. Oh, well, we don't have to care about that. Oh, yeah, dude, like, cobalt that's mined up is done by child slave. But, you know, like, whatever, that's just how the economy goes. Oh, dude, whatever. Like, we make computers. They look sick, bro. Like, don't think about it. So that was the argument that I was making originally.
I don't know. Me personally, I would have tried to find another example.
Me too. Me too, buddy.
Okay, so he's, again, I think we've already addressed this, but he is saying that it is bad, but it's still just kind of strange because he was making an argument that was so poor that he was saying that buying it and consuming it is okay. The creation of it is bad. The mental hurdles that are going through this and the analogies that are being used just don't feel like they were even worth, like, you know, talking about several times. It wasn't like he made this poor argument once, right? He made this poor argument several freaking times. Not like a oops, maybe I should have worded this differently. More like a, yeah, I'm following this train of thought pretty frequently, pretty often. And oh, now that I think about it, after several times of talking about it, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. But this is, again, I'm just providing you guys clips. This is him saying that he does not support it, even though in prior statements, it looks like, you know, he does. So here we are, this part of the story. I mean, all you really need to know so far is all of these things came out about Vaush, and then Ethan and H3, they made a live stream, basically kneeling on him. Tacoma wept, jokes were going around because of all the clips they were watching about him. And it was basically being like, yo, they need to check and arrest Vaush. Someone needs to look into him. Okay, no matter how you spin it, this stuff is disgusting and this man is no bueno. Then you had, you know, people in the community space, which I'm not even going to go over the commentary space. Like I said, like tipsters and kevels, people who were apparently defending Vaush or saying like Ethan was being unfair in his assessment of Vaush, that things were misleading. I don't know. Again, just different narratives. I don't know why there are different narratives on a subject as basically as straightforward as this. Even Vaush himself saying like, oh yeah, I made a poor argument in this thing, but we're trying to defend, is this a poor argument while also, I don't know. People are saying inspect his hard drive and that he needs to go to jail. And he said to H3H3, if he wanted me to defend myself, he probably would have reached out. My illustrious first appearance on the H3 pod. I've generally been pretty fair to Ethan, I think. I don't fault him for covering drama, but doing this gigantic generic smear piece without reaching out or talking beforehand feels at least a little crappy of him. People really do hate me. I reach out if I could. I really doubt that's a viable avenue of engagement, and failed attempts at engagement just make me look defensive, really. Finally, in terms of like if there is going to be an actual talk between Ethan and Vaush about the situation, apparently it's not going to happen. They're saying there will be no debate. All of this has been discussed before at length. I talked to Ethan in DMs and he came across insanely snakish, like a cartoon. Literally any direct engagement with him or anyone else right now will be interpreted disingenuously, like I'm digging myself in deeper no matter what I say. The streams will continue, the politics will continue, and like every other wave of disingenuous drama, the truth will be apparent to people who chill out for a second and consume literally any of my content. So Vaush is saying, look, there's so much going on. It's all out of our context. It's a smear campaign. People who don't like me are out here trying to cancel me for as many out of context, out of pocket things. They're taking what they saw here and they're taking what they saw in the past, putting it all together and then coming up with the narrative that this guy basically enjoys CP. And he's like, that's not the truth. And he's trying to defend himself. And then you got other people defending him. And and then again, you just got Ethan just out here just roasting him nonstop and just leaning him to him, and it's a mess. He also followed up and said, I rescinded the invitation for Ethan to talk on my stream because after doing a completely unprompted, vile, dishonest character assassination for 2 hours, he was playing dumb in DMs saying he was surprised. I thought he had acted in bad faith and wanted me on his stream to provide my opinion. If he cared about my opinion, wouldn't he have reached out before the character assassination? What? Then I checked his Insta story, and while he was doing his innocent routine in DMs, he was calling everyone defending me a pedo, photoshopping pics of me in a jacket that said pedo stuff, absolutely dishonest snake, not an ounce of desire for the truth and that guy. Yeah, guys, that's the Vaush thing that happened between him and H3H3 basically dunking on him, and Tipster and Keppels getting involved, and then like everyone trying to, oh my God, it was an absolute freaking clusterfuck of just nonsense. And I feel like I didn't even go into the deep in the weeds of it, but it was one of those things that I felt like it was not even necessary to go further into, right? The basic information was already like, we were already in deep poo-poo immediately. It's all freaking haram. Like, what left is there to say about a situation about a guy who's basically saying that he wants to be a horse and have sex with women, right? And then saving images that portray what it looks like to be kids in anime form, lolicons, and him confusing them as goblins and short and stouted, and then people going into his history. What was more interesting, actually, I think, about this entire thing is that this is the first time I've actually learned about Vaush. I've heard of him before, but the first time he blows up is because they found this, like, you know, him watching like lolicon or has this porn. But like, I'm like, why didn't this man blow up? Or maybe I wasn't there when he was making the other comments, like the other videos of stuff in the past. Why wasn't he big when that happened? Why do I not know about that? How did that not become a super huge big deal? And maybe it did, and I was just not aware of the thing that went down. But yeah, that's Vaush. People are still defending him. They're trying to justify that what he said was okay and that he's being taken out of context still. And then people are destroying him as well. People are taking signs left and right. And yeah, that's the situation. You guys can let me know if I missed anything. You can let me know how you feel about the whole thing. But dang, this was a cursed deep dive. And yeah, I'm ready to erase it from my memory. But all right, guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you made it to the end, drop a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Okay, again, hit the subscribe button. That's just a reminder. We're trying to hit to 1 million by the end of the year. If you can't, well, then I'll just stop making YouTube videos forever. I love you guys. Y'all take it easy. I got to go edit this video, so I'm going to get out of your hair. All right, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Peace.